Well, good morning from London. Good afternoon from Taipei. I'm delighted to introduce today's session, the first sponsored by the Taiwan Academy of Banking and Finance, focusing on Taiwan's AI-driven financial innovation and digital transformation. Um, Many of you will know me. I'm Mike Wardle. I'm the Chief Executive at the ZN Group. And my job as chairman today is very much to introduce, get out of the way, and then come back for the Q&A. The program today is quite simple. My introduction is short. I'll be covering some of the housekeeping. We then have 4 presentations from our speakers who will introduce in a minute. There'll be time for Q&A just towards the end of the session. If you do have questions that you'd like to put or observations you'd like to make, do find the questions tab on the dashboard on your screen, and you can type in your questions, which will come to us, and we'll do that towards the end. You can put in a question or a comment at any point during the webinar. The webinar is being recorded today, so if you want to go back and refresh your memory, or you have friends and colleagues who might be interested in the subject, a recording of the session will be available in around 24 hours up on the website, and that'll be available for you to share with others who might be interested in today's topic. So just moving on to introduce our speakers. We're delighted to have a really high-powered panel today. First of all, Brenda Hu, Director General in the Department of Development and Innovation at the Financial Supervisory Commission in Taiwan. The mission of the newly established department is to accelerate the development of Taiwan's financial market, looking both at safety and development. Dr. Cao is the president of the Taiwan Academy of Banking and Finance. He has a PhD in international business from the National Taiwan University and has served as professor of economics and adjunct associate professor at various institutions. Danny Tang is the chief digital officer at e.sun Bank, a large Taipei-based financial institution with over $120 billion of assets, and he's responsible for delivering digital experience to customers and driving digital transformation. Finally, Dr. Liu is the Executive Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer of First Commercial Bank, looking particularly at IT, digital security, credit card, and financial technology business. A really high-powered panel today, and we're really looking forward to getting some insight into how Taiwan is developing in the space of AI and digital technology. Speakers, and Brenda, you first. The floor is very much yours. Over to you.
Thank you, Mike, for your introduction. I'm Brenda Hu. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here to share with you how Taiwan is driving financial innovation through the AI. Here's what I'll cover today. I will walk you through Taiwan's national plan to promote AI. Then I will dig into how financial regulator is supporting fintech development and ensuring responsible AI use. Finally, I will share insight into current market trends, what's accelerating, what's challenging, and where the biggest opportunities lie. Let me give you some context. While Taiwan is well known for its advancement in AI hardware and semiconductors, we hope you won't overlook its financial sector. With strong foundations and a growing focus on AI-driven innovation, Taiwan's financial industry has great potential to become the next rising star in the region. According to a 2024 report by Intel, in Taiwan, manufacturing and finance are the top 2 industries investing heavily in AI. In finance, AI is already helping with credit scoring, fraud detection, automated insurance claims, robo-advisor, etc. It's rapidly evolving. In fact, AI software spending in Taiwan is projected to grow at an annual rate of 21.5% between 2023 and 2027. That is a strong signal that both demand and momentum. If we look at the AI adoption rate in Taiwan's financial sector, we will see where the growth is coming from. These are the survey results by our commission conducted this month. It's preliminary. We haven't officially released them. Banks lead the way with 87% adoption, followed by life insurers, 67%, property insurers at 45%, and securities firms at 31%. You can compare their last year's adoption rates showing at the bottom. Generative AI is also gaining ground. 48% of financial institutions who adopt AI are using. We see the momentum is there, but it's still relatively early days for widespread integration, particularly outside the banking sector. Let's now look at the government policies that are taking shape the innovation. First, the Executive Yuan, we have an AI Action Plan 2.0, which runs from 2023 to 2026. This master framework is about putting AI into action across industries. It has 5 focuses: building talent, advancing core tech, strengthening our ecosystem, and making Taiwan more globally visible. It also looks at the social and ethical side of AI, trying to achieve a sustainable AI economy. Drilling down, there are foundation R&D side and investment programs driving this. The NSTC, the National Science and Technology Council, is investing heavily in AI R&D and cross-sector applications. The goal is to build a strong foundation for AI application, not just in labs, but out into real-world use across different sectors. We also have a very exciting investment program. MODA, Ministry of Digital Affairs, and NDC, the National Development Council, launched a 10 billion NT dollars AI startup investment program. It's a 10-year fund. Its structure is a one-to-one match, co-investment model. Government matches private dollar invested. If a startup does really well, for example, winning awards or participating in government AI programs, the government's investment could potentially triple, meaning from 1 to 1 to maybe 1 to 3. This decade-long program shows Taiwan's commitment to boost the AI innovation. How does the FSC, Financial Supervisory Commission, my commission, fit in? Our commission adopts a multi-pronged strategy focused on creating an environment that helps innovation and collaboration. One big area is fighting financial fraud from the left-hand side. For example, the Eagle Eye Fraud Detection Alliance, launched by Taipei Fubon Bank, brings together 36 financial institutions to use federated learning to detect fraud smarter and faster. We are also supporting other cutting-edge efforts, like using synthetic data and private enhancement technology to fight scams without compromising customer data. There are also a lot of AI applications in the industry, such as biometric authentication, automatic risk assessment, and robotic processing automation. We are also making it easier for firms to test new things. We revise regulations and encourage financial institutions to experiment through pilot programs. They may use a fast track review system if their projects promote financial inclusion. We are also revamping our regulatory sandbox. Third, we are building a stronger ecosystem through the FinTech Industry Alliance, bringing together key players in finance and tech. We have formed 4 working circles focused on tech R&D, digital finance best practices, investment collaboration, and cross-sector innovation. The alliance is now working on a fintech venture capital fund targeting 7.5 billion NT dollars, with about 40% going into Taiwan's fintech, including AI, blockchain, big data, and digital inclusion technologies. And of course, we don't forget investing human capital. That's why we are teaming up with the universities and our fintech space accelerators to train future fintech pros. We also offer certifications and upskilling programs in AI and digital finance, making sure the talent pipeline stays strong. With all this innovation happening, the responsible AI part becomes really, really important. Our approach is quite early on this. In October 2023, the FSC released the core principles for AI in financial services. You may refer to the right button for the 6 principles. Building on that, in June 2024, we introduced detailed AI guidelines for financial institutions. These guidelines cover the entire AI circle, from system design and risk assessment to implementation and vendor oversight. We got pretty positive feedback from the industry. Many financial institutions told us that these guidelines gave them much needed direction and clarity when developing and managing AI systems. We also asked industry associations in banking, securities, insurance, asset management, and futures to develop their own self-regulations. So our method is really layered. Principles, then guidelines, then industry specifics. Looking ahead, our government is taking a long-term view. The Executive Yuan is drafting Taiwan's first overarching AI basic law, a national framework that will give MODA the power to manage AI risks, create risk classification, and promote safe data innovation. To ensure consistency across agencies, we have also launched the Digital Policy and Legal Coordination Project. This team helps align AI policies, data governance, privacy protection, and digital applications. Basically, it's like an air traffic controller for digital policies. In short, we are building a smarter, flexible foundation, one that adapts as AI evolves. So, with all this policy and regulatory groundwork being laid, what are we actually seeing in the market? Well, according to a 2024 CIO survey by a Taiwanese magazine called IT Home, AI and machine learning budgets in Taiwan have grown by an incredible 93%, nearly doubling in just 1 year. And nearly half of all CIOs say that AI innovation is the top priority for their next year. But here's the catch. Despite all the excitement, overall adoption still has room to grow. That's why we are actively nurturing emerging fields like federated learning, synthetic data, AI agents, and green fintech. These are the next frontiers, and we want to help Taiwanese financial ecosystem seize those opportunities, not just follow global trends, but become first movers. Of course, innovation doesn't come without challenges. What hurdles does Taiwan's financial sector face with this AI push? We have four major challenges. The first one is tech, technology risks. For example, like cybersecurities and deepfakes. They are major threats, particularly as AI and blockchain technologies interact, which could create new risks for theft and hacking. The second one is regulatory gaps. AI is advancing so fast that our existing rules might not be ready for it. Also, we need to think about how to strike balance between the use of personal data for AI training and privacy protection. The third one is ethical dilemmas. There are also ethical concerns around AI transparency, which can lead to issues like bias and discrimination in AI decision making. The fourth one is market dependency. We need to be mindful of third party risks. When a few major players dominate AI or cloud services, it can create systemic risks. The UK's Bank of England and the EU's DORA regulation are already looking into this, and so are we. Let me summarize Taiwan's journey here. Taiwan has long been a global leader in hardware. Now we are building up the software and systems that will power the next wave of smart financial innovation. Our government policies focus on connecting the dots. Public sectors, private sectors, scaling things up and doing it securely, ethically, inclusively. This is not just about building better tools. We are building on our strengths and moving into new territories. At the heart of Taiwan's AI transition is clear: a better financial ecosystem for everyone involved. Our vision is quite holistic: protect people, empower businesses, consider the planet with green fintech, and really drive innovation that matters. We also know no country can do this alone. That's why Taiwan is actively seeking global partnerships with regulators, innovators, and investors to co create responsible, forward looking fintech solutions. So, whether you are building, investing, or regulating, we invite you to work with Taiwan. Together, we can shape a financial future that's not only smarter, but fair, greener, and truly global. Thank you.
So right now, I'm Gao Yicheng. I'm the president of the TABF, and TABF as a platform for our between our government and our bankers. In here in this short talk, I want to provide some insight about the market opportunities in Taiwan, especially in financial sector. So basically in this talk, I will provide some reason that why we have some market opportunity for investor outside of Taiwan. So first, when we see the GDP per capita in Taiwan, the golden line is the data for Taiwan. And as we can see that in 1980s, the Taiwan GDP per capita is almost the same as the data for the world average, which is the black line here, and just a little bit higher than the Asia average. And after 4 decades, we can see that in 2024, our GDP per capita actually is more than times compared to the world average. So in the past 40 years, why Taiwan can have accumulated such wealth compared to the world average and to the Asia countries is because the main reason is that from the international trade. So you can see here is the export is the golden line and the import is the black line. So after 1980s, we can see every years we have the export value is higher than import value in Taiwan. And even in the pandemic or even in the global financial recession or global financial crisis in around 2008, we still have a trade surplus, which means our export is larger than import. And during the pandemic, you can see that because the world is need more electronic devices made from Taiwan, so we can see that during the pandemic, our export has a very faster growth speed during the pandemic. So which country is the main export for Taiwanese company, and which country are the main import to the from the Taiwanese perspective? We can see that actually North America and Asia are the two main markets that we export goods and services to those countries. And Taiwan joined the WTO in 2002, and the great area here is the year after the gray area is the year after 2002. And as we can see, after Taiwan joined the WTO, we have a increasing trend for export to Asia countries. And for North America, the trend is positive. Here, positive means that we have a positive trade balance, which means our export is larger than import from North America. And you can see that in the recent 5 years, because of the AI computing demand, we export many computer server to North America, typically to the United States. So we can see in the recent years, we have those two trends for North America and the Asia market. And for the import, basically, we don't have many natural resources. So the import is from like Middle East. We import natural resources like crude oil from those countries. And to the Europe, basically, over the years, we have the trade balance. We have the break-even trade balance to Europe. Sometimes it's positive and sometimes it's negative. You can see that. But in recent years, we can see that the trade balance between Taiwan and Europe is negative, which means we import more goods from Europe. The main reason is that like for producing semiconductor, we need to import machines like EUV machines from SMO, which is a European company. So when we see the overseas basis of the Taiwan's bank, the distribution is just the reflect the international trade activities. So we can see we have more banks which have the economic, which has the providing the banking services basically for Taiwanese firms in Asia countries. And we also have the second largest area is the North America. So when we see the components of those export, we can see in recent years, more than 60% produced in Taiwan and then export to other countries are high-tech products by definition. So more than 60% are high-tech products. And when we see the import, we can also see this trend, especially after 2008 global financial crisis. You can see the increasing trend. For the export and for the import, we have an increasing trend. And we combine those figures together into these figures. And the left-hand side of the panel is the export data, and the right-hand side is the import data. And the gray area is the time after global financial crisis. And as we can see in this figure, we can see our export is more than 60% of our export is high-tech products. On the other hand, around 40% of our import is from the high-tech products, which are golden lines in the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So the gap right now is around 20%, 60% minus 40% is the value added in Taiwan. So although we don't have many natural resources, the basic, the most important resources for Taiwan to produce those high-tech products is the human resources. We have the people, we have the labor with a higher education, with the higher labor quality. So the value we created, you can compare those two export, the differences between the export and import. That is the value made it in Taiwan. So if we take the trade balance for Taiwan, you can see that after 1976, for the past more than 4 decades, we always have the trade balance in Taiwan. And the result, we can see the result is that in Taiwan, we save a lot. So when the definition of the national saving rate is that the national income minus the consumption and then minus the government spending. And we can see that especially after 2000, the national saving rate is higher. We have the increasing trend in the past 2 decades. So right now it's around 40% around the national saving rate. So the result is that there are, you can say the saving glut, or there are a lot of money in Taiwan that is higher than we needed for investment. So the result is that the interest rate is quite low. This is not necessarily reflect the monetary policy. Basically, this is reflect the situation that we accumulate a lot of funds in Taiwan. So the saving rate, the interest rate here is the overnight interest rate among banks. We can see right now is around 1%, less than 1% actually. And if we see the data for bond years, like the government borrowing money for 5 years government bond or the corporate bond, we can also see that the government and the company also can borrow the money at a very low rate. Right now is less than 2%, regardless of government or the corporate. So this provides a very environment to develop the production activity investment, because the funding cost is very low. And I said that this is not necessarily reflect the monetary easing policy, because if we see a country with a very low interest rate for like 20 years or 30 years, we might have the result that the inflation rate will be high because of the too easing monetary policy. But if we see the CPI, the inflation rate, we can see here in the past 4 decades, our CPI growth rate, the inflation rate, is around 2%. And the red line, dash line here is the target about our central bank's monetary policy. And you can see that after the pandemic, we have the inflation rate around 3%, and now is near 2%. So this provide a relatively stable environment for the economy. So our conclusion is that actually there are many market opportunities in Taiwan, because in the last 45 years, our company accumulate the wealth from the international trading. But as you can think, for one guy, he or she start his company, and then after 45 years, it's the time they have to consider about the generation problem, how to continue their business, and how to transit those money from this older generation to younger generation will be the problem, will be the question, or the market opportunities for investor, for bankers. So it is the time that we see this trend, and our government last year promote a very important new policy, which the goal is to develop Taiwan as the Asian asset management hub in Asian market. So we hope Taiwan can provide this market for the international asset manager companies, for international bankers coming to Taiwan and see to those market opportunities. And we hope we can provide, as TABF, we provide a platform for our bankers and for our international friends all over the world. So this is my presentation for the market opportunities in Taiwan, especially for the financial sector. That is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, President Gao. This is Danny Tang. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of e.sun Bank. And good afternoon to those of you who are in Asia, and good morning to those of you who are in the UK. So let me spend about 10 to 15 minutes to talk to you about innovations at e.sun Bank. But before I start, I want to tell you a little bit about e.sun Bank, who we are, where we are, and what we have done. So e.sun was founded in 1992, about 32 years from today. We are in, let me see, 14 countries with regulatory approval. We'll be in Canada and India, hopefully very soon. Right now, we are in Taiwan and 11 other foreign countries. Altogether, we have about 9,000 employees all around the world, and we are a institution of $120 billion in assets. We have about 1,000 people in our technology teams, and I won't bother you with all other numbers, but suffice to say, we're one of the biggest financial institutions in Taiwan. Okay, so we published our digital strategy back in 2021, what we call the 5A strategy. The 5A's are actually quite simple. The first A is access. What we want to do is we want to broaden the access to our potential customers, to consumers. Even though e.sun today has almost 8 million customers out of 24 million, the total population in Taiwan, we still want to make it easier for customers to access our products and services. So that's the first A, access. The second A is acquisition. We want it to be extremely easy for consumers to acquire e.sun's products and services. And we also want to make it easy for the bank to acquire new customers too. So that's the second A. The third A is activate. So out of all our customers, we want our customers to be active. We want them to use our products and services every single day. The fourth A is adhere. So we want to increase the stickiness of our customers with us. We believe that the relationship between banks and banking customers are a long-term one, not just a month or 2 months. We want it to be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, right? So how to increase that stickiness is a major topic for the bank. Finally, we want all of our customers to be a fan of ours, right? So the fifth A is advocate, right? So we want the customers to, every single one of them, to love us from the bottom of their heart. So what we have done along the 5As, we have a lot of our investments in technology went into building a good foundation underneath the 5A strategy. So to broaden access, we have created a design system, the e.sun design system, that unifies the look and feel of all of our user interfaces, starting from our public website. Right? So that makes it easier for customers to understand what e.sun has to offer. And we have achieved great results from the design unification. The second A, acquire, what we have done is we built a unified application portal. So today our customers can come to the application portal and using one single form to apply to over 7 products in one single form. No need to enter duplicate information. And just by doing that, we have seen our cross rate shot up dramatically. So that's the second A. The third A is activate. So what we have done is we want to achieve this. Everybody knows this. We want to deliver the right message to the right customer at the right time via the right channel. So what we have done is we have created our next generation marketing platform to do that. And I'll speak more about that platform on the next page. The fourth A is adhere. What we have done is we are revamping, we are rebuilding our key mobile app. What we have done is we use the cutting edge micro front end architecture to build our next generation mobile platform. And we're in the middle of that progressive transformation. Finally, we have seen our NPS, Net Promoter Score, increasing over the years, starting from about 40 to 50 back in 2021. And today our NPS score has grown to about 70. So that's a pretty good achievement if you ask me. Okay, so today I think we have about 40 AI projects across the different divisions at e.sun Bank. So I won't be able to tell you all about those 40 projects. So let me dive a little deeper into 2 of the AI projects. The first one is e.sun recommendation system. So this is a little bit like when you open Netflix or Facebook and you see the best content being pushed to you, and there is a recommendation system behind the scenes, and that's exactly what we are building too. And now we have a lot of data, a lot of transaction data from credit card usage, a lot of transaction data from accounts, and we know a lot about our customers. And in addition to those structured data, we also have unstructured data. We have call scripts from call center, right? The customer may call us and complain about something or tell us about their financial plan. So we are analyzing all these structured and unstructured data, and we're putting tags on every single customer. For example, we know that customer A may love travel. Customer B may like pets, for example, right? So we have all these customer tags, and we're using those tags to set marketing rules. So those rules are set by our marketing specialists. In addition to rules, we also have AI to rank the recommendation systems, just like what Netflix is doing behind the scenes. And the outcome is that we know what to tell our customers whenever somebody interacts with the bank. And they are, I think, over 100 million interactions a year, in a single year, from all of our customers, right? So every single time we know what to tell our customers thanks to machine learning, thanks to the e.sun recommendation system. So that's the first project I want to tell you about. The second project is in our contact center, what we call intelligent IVR, right? So traditionally, when a customer calls us, the customer has to endure through a pretty lengthy IVR menu tree, right? Select 1 if you want to talk about credit card, select 2 if you have a question about your account, 3 for that, 4 for something else. And it's really not a very good customer experience. So what we have done is we're utilizing speech to text technology and text to speech. So today, chances are when you call the bank, all you need to do is to speak, right? You just tell us what you're trying to ask. And then the AI will analyze your speech and send you to the right answer, give you the right answer, or take you to the right department within the contact center. So that saves a lot of time. I think it's over 50% time saving for our customers. So that results in better customer service. That results in good morale in our contact center, and that reduces a lot of workload for our contact center agents. And so all these projects, both AI and traditional customer analytics and all these IT projects have resulted in great results. So last year we have won many awards, including the winner of innovations in digital banking from across Asia Pacific from the Banker, along with some other awards. And I won't I won't waste your time on all these accolades that we have won. So that's my brief presentation, and let me hand over the mic to my distinguished fellow speaker.
Good morning, London. Good afternoon, Taipei. I'm Perry Liu. I'm from First Commercial Bank. My today's topic is about, well, I will focus on a Gen AI initiative. We call it Project Gala. Prior to the rise of Gen AI as a global phenomenon, like many other banks, our bank have already been actively investing in AI. For example, we launched the robo-advisor service, e.sun, which currently has over 1.9 billion NT dollar in AUM. This is the most updated number and accounting for 14.5% of robo-advisor market share here in Taiwan. Although this Gen AI technology improved efficiency at the time, their applications still face limitations in terms of functionality and intelligence by today's standards and have not fully unleashed the potential of AI technologies. For example, this is our CMAP system, which is a system tool tailored for branches, leveraging AI to address the pain point and challenges branches face in developing SME clients. After its deployment, we did see the overall performance of the branch improved. But with the emergence of Gen AI, we have begun to see even more room for advancement. For example, on the left, you can see the flow chart of how the CMAP system collaborates with different stakeholders. When looking at the flow chart at the left, we couldn't help but wondering with the development of agentic AI, collaborative process like this might eventually be carried out by AI agents themselves instead of, we don't need to write a lot of programs to do this. By the way, I didn't take time to translate Chinese in the flowchart into English, but if you are interested, you can always ask ChatGPT to translate them and explain this process in more detail. In addition, if we broaden our perspective and look at the entire life cycle of developing SME clients at the branch, CMAP only covers the initial stage of customer engagement and acquisition. Later stages like credit assessment, risk detection, customer care require significant time and human resources and should be areas where Gen AI can be leveraged to achieve significant benefits. This will allow branches to save more time and focus on more important jobs. But before prematurely deploying Gen AI, there are some strategic implications that need to be carefully considered. This consideration including the shortage of Gen AI technical talent and the fact that Gen AI technology itself is still rapidly evolving and changing. If issues like cybersecurity and hallucination are not effectively addressed, banks will face significant challenges when attempting to apply Gen AI in customer-facing products and mission-critical process at this stage. And most importantly, the way Gen AI is applied will differ greatly from IT technology banks are currently familiar with. Notably, Gen AI is expected to soon truly enable technology democratization. And employees, especially non-IT employees, will first need to build the literacy and the capability required to work with AI. Therefore, for banks, the priority now may not necessarily be to chase after technology, but rather to teach employees how to collaborate with Gen AI, using it as a co-pilot and build the confidence and trust in AI. To this end, we have proposed a Gen AI transformation initiative. We call it Project Gala, Generative AI, Liberalize and Accelerate. Conceptually, we have divided, Conceptually, we have divided the initiative under Project Gala into 4 levels. This approach offers several key advantages. First, it helps us identify the nature of each Gen AI use cases, from ranging from enhancing individual productivity to find the highest level, the business innovation. And each use cases correspond to different level of value contribution. And through this framework, we can also assess the overall maturity of GenAI adoption across our bank. And as more use cases move up the pyramid, it indicates our progression from merely adopting tools to using AI to drive business innovation. Next, I will share some experiences and use cases from the implementation of Project Gala. The first was to secure support from our board of directors and business unit leaders. We organized an executive consensus bootcamp and invited Dr. Jian Lifeng, a well-known AI advocate in Taiwan, to give a keynote speech. To leave a strong impression on the board members and the executive, we used Google Notebook LM to generate a full transcript and key takeaway of the Dr. Jian's speech and share them via online group within 5 minutes after the speech ended. In addition, we highlight to participants that the entire event was fully digitized and all of it was built by non-technical staff using M365 and Copilot tools. What excited us most is the shift in attitude among department heads after the event. Many of them who were previously more passive proactively requested us for more Copilot licenses for their team after this event. Secondly, this is a comprehensive initiative that integrates data governance, AI application, and cloud architecture with the goal of migrating our marketing data to the cloud. As illustrated in the system architecture, we plan to consolidate various data sources, then apply analytics and machine learning tools to extract insight and build predictive models. Finally, we will incorporate generative AI tools to further enhance the intelligence and automation of our marketing operations. Another organization-wide initiative that will have a significant impact is the migration of our cybersecurity infrastructure to the cloud. The motivation behind this initiative stems from our belief that as we move a substantial portion of our data, our system, from our on-premises data center to the public cloud, traditional parameter-based security model will no longer suffice and may even hinder the efficiency of cloud and AI-driven operations. So to address this, cybersecurity itself must move to the cloud first. Currently, we are testing and implement the SASE. And our goal is that once this cloud-based security framework is in place, employees will be able to securely and efficiently access cloud-hosted resources and AI applications, whether they are in remote or use their own devices. And the next case is Enterprise Smart QA Assistant we developed. The system leverages RAG technology and Azure OpenAI to integrate our internal knowledge base. The system was launched in early April and is currently only open to 9 departments at the headquarters for testing. Despite this limited rollout, its weekly usage is already 8.4 times higher than that of the previous version without Gen AI, which was available to all to the entire company. This case showed our application of a GitHub Copilot in enhancing software development lifecycle. This is we use in our second generation digital bank front end and middleware development initiative. By leveraging GitHub Copilot, our developer can auto-complete code, refactor functions, receive error fix suggestions, and automatically generate documentation and test scripts. The following cases demonstrate several quick win practice using M365 and Copilot. Since these cases are straightforward examples, I won't go into too much detail. The first one is a no-brainer. Our compliance officers can simply use the Copilot to efficiently process regulatory documents from various countries. The second case is one that strongly resonated with the department heads. Previously, these managers had to log in to our report system every week, select data, generate report, print it, taking around 5 to 10 minutes. Now, using the no-code automation tool and with the help of Copilot, the entire process is fully automated and take only 30 seconds. The third example is the internal singing contest organized by our HR department. In the past, the event required extensive manual work, and they don't have support from IT department to digitalize this process. So to address this, HR organized a hackathon, encouraging employees to use no-code tools to solve the problem. As a result, non-technical staff successfully built a fully digital apps, and this significantly saved time, greatly improved the event's operational efficiency. The final case is the automation of document approval process. With the help of no-code and low-code tools, non-technical business units now can build their own customized approval workloads on their own, significantly improve flexibility and efficiency. In summary, as tech giants continue to invest heavily in Gen AI, especially with the emergence of agentic AI, the impact on traditional enterprise like banks will be profound and beyond imagination. However, given the rapid pace of technological change at this time, we believe that making large-scale investment in Gen AI technology immediately may not be the optimal strategic choice. That's why our Project Gala focuses on empowering employees through SaaS tools, driving a cultural shift toward knowledge sharing and experimenting with Gen AI integration in selected business processes. Alongside our efforts to migrate our marketing data and cybersecurity to the cloud, we are laying the groundwork for future AI development and internal readiness. Hopefully, ultimately, this will enable us to leap forward into value creation driven by forward-looking innovation in the future. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, all of you, for your presentations and that insight into what's happening in terms of digital transformation in financial services in Taipei. We've got time for a very few questions. And first of all, I think this is a question perhaps to Danny and to Dr. Liu. Bruce Lloyd, who's online, is asking whether you think that the role of trust and a sense of fairness is a large part of the success of implementing AI developments in Taiwan. In other words, is there a cultural issue whereby the fact that the population has trust in the banking system makes it easier to implement AI solutions? Perhaps Danny would like to think about that first.
Yeah, indeed, trust is arguably the most important asset for a bank, especially in Taiwan. So that's why even though we have 40 AI projects going on in the bank, most of them are for internal use, and we are a lot more cautious in providing AI services directly to our customers. And there are several projects that we are using for customers, but we always do that step by step, and we want to open it to friends and families first, to employees first, and friends and families until we're very, very sure that it doesn't hurt the trust of our customers in the bank. We will not be pushing any AI services to customers.
Thank you very much. And really, a question I think I'm going to ask Ms. Hu is whether regulators should prioritize innovation or whether they should prioritize customer protection. And there's a kind of balance here which we need to strike.
Yes, thank you, Mike. I think both are equally important. For customer protection, you think just like what Danny said, trust is very important in financial sector, especially in financial markets, because if you don't have trust, then customer don't trust you, then they will withdraw money from the bank and probably will cause the bank run, or also probably take the bankruptcy, etc. And also, I think innovation is equally important because it's very important element of our market. If you don't have this innovation, then you will lose your market competitiveness. And especially when the society is progressing because of AI or because of other technology, if you don't really look at the innovation or try to advance with the development of the society, then also customer will leave you, and in that way you also lose your customer and the market grow. So I think both are very important.
Thank you very much. I'm going to turn to Dr. Liu, asking about digital threats, I guess. I mean, you've talked very much about digital security. What are the digital threats that sort of keep you awake at night, worrying? And what should we all be conscious of and careful of when we are looking at digital security?
Thank you. I think for First Commercial Bank, I wonder if the audience remember that during 2016, our bank is under siege by the East Europe hackers. They give us ATM haste back that day. Those kind of things keep us awake at night. And also, currently, the geopolitical tension, ransomware, distributed denial of service, these are all the major threats that banks have to face on a daily basis. As for what we should careful about, I think for as for cybersecurity, you need to balance between the security and the development of the business. So it's very important to develop the digital resilience so that we can still enable our business develop to develop our business, but at the same time we can keep our system resilient and response to security events quickly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do have time for one more question, but just before I get onto that, Bruce Lloyd, who asked a question about trust, has suggested also that there needs to be a high level of trust within organizations to make AI development work. So I'm going to turn last to Dr. Cao and just ask about what risks you think banks are taking in bringing AI-driven products to market. What are the key things which you're worried about as the Taiwanese Academy of Banking and Finance?
Okay, thanks, Mike. I think the main risk is that when we're talking about AI product, like we use machine learning methodology, then we have to use the data, the input data, the input data, and then do the prediction, right? So the information we have, because Taiwan is too small, we only have 300, 200 and the 30 million people. So the information we have is not enough, which make us our prediction model maybe not precisely enough. So if the banks then using the data from like China, because we have different social conventions, so the prediction may not be suitable for Taiwanese bank. And as we just mentioned that trust is very important. So how to using those limited data from Taiwan to make a precisely prediction? I think that is the main challenge for our bankers. That is my question. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And I think for all AI applications, the quality of data that you're using to train the AI application is, of course, the indicator of how successful you'll be. I'm afraid we have run out of time. Just remains for me to thank very much our speakers today, for the audience, for your attendance, and for the support of the TABF for this webinar. So normally at an event like this, I could throw open the floor for a large round of applause. I'm afraid I can't do that on this occasion, but you'll have to accept that everyone in the audience is very appreciative. Looking forward, we've got on the 15th of May a walk in the City of London on secret gardens of the city. On the 29th of May, launch of the next edition of the Smart Centres Index. On Thursday, the 5th of June, the Employee Share Plan Symposium 2025. So a lot coming up. Please do keep an eye on the website for future events. Just remains for me to say a huge thank you to our speakers today for their insights and for their willingness to share with us this morning, this afternoon. Thank you very much all, and we look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.